Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Ray Tampa Podcast. Our podcast offers bold commentary on various subject matters with a laser-like focus on the truth. My name is Ray Tampa. I'm the host of the Ray Tampa Podcast. We have in our studio Mr. Russell Cato, a retired educator with more than 42 years of experience working in the Pinellas County schools, and Mr. Jamie Wilson, a healthcare provider with more than 30 years of experience working as a physical therapist. My co-host. Today, we're very fortunate to have with us in the studio Mr. SHEDRICK Baker, co-host of the Progressive, Purple Movement podcast.
Yeah.
Let me say that again. Co-host of the Progressive Purple Movement podcast, which airs bi-monthly right here on 99.1 FM, The Bird.
Yes.
SHEDRICK, or Shed. Welcome to the Ray Tampa Podcast.
Thank y'all for having me. I would appreciate it. Being here with you brothers. I know y'all putting some good work out there. And I just want to try to lend my voice to your cause too, because I think we speak from a kind of similar place.
Yes. And you do have a heavy voice. We like that. We like that. Shed, how about telling our audience a little information about yourself, such as where were you born, raised, and educated?
Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, I was born in Gainesville, Florida, University of Sham, not a Gator. I'm a Hurricane fan, I'm gonna tell you that. My mom moved down here when I was 2 weeks old, so I was raised in the Berg, graduated from Gibbs High School. I went on to the U.S. Navy, spent 9 years on the, 5.5 of those years on the USS George Washington, then I ended up at Corey Station, Pensacola, did NSA, we did Jacksonville at Mayport, so we did quite a bit. And then when we got out, we ended up going into telecom. So I worked for several Fortune 500 companies, AT&T, Time Warner Cable, Spectrum. I've done quite a bit, and I got a little burnt out. At the end, decided I wanted to go into something else. So right now, I kind of do like an accounting thing on the side, working for a major company in St. Pete. And I do our podcast every other Sunday for an hour, 4 to 5. The next one is going to be next week on, what's that, the 15th, 18th? So I will have the right date. So we'll do that. And Progressive Purple Movement is my baby. We've been doing that for well over a year now, myself and Sherman Saxton. And, because we come on right after you on some days. Yeah.
And you do a great job with that podcast.
Very much.
So
Very
much.
much.
Great job.
Blessings.
There isn't much of a positive first. Thank you for that information.
Yes, sir.
And that was very interesting information. There isn't much of a positive nature that can be said about the President of the United States. He lies. He blatantly violates people's rights. He blatantly grabs bribes in huge amounts of money. He's a pathetic racist. He's a convicted felon. He's a thief. Did I point out he's a liar? There is no bottom to how low he will go. There's no bottom. We want to have a roving conversation about the many imbecilic things that our president has done recently. He's an imbecile.
Yeah.
And what has he done recently? While referencing the silence of many Black MAGA supporters regarding Obama's depiction as an ape along with his wife, Roland Martin said, quote, "When you kiss so much MAGA ass, you defend their bullshit. And even when they did it, then you look like a damn fool." So we're going to start our show today with that quote from Roland. Fellas, let's talk about it. What you say, Shed?
I say, wow. It's amazing to me that you could run on the platform that you started with and then just abandon it. People went in and thinking it was all about the economy, and people were voting against their own interests. Is the crazy part to me. You go in and you think that this guy is going to make you a millionaire. He's going to do it and it's going to be all good. We got the White House, we have the Senate, we got Congress, and we got the judicial deck stack. So that means even if it fails in the lower courts, by the time we get to the Supreme Court, it's already carte blanche for him. So this deck being stacked against him, I look at the things that you're doing. You're looking at Black excellence. It's not a shame. Well, it's a shame that he released this during Black History Month. We what, 6 days in and we already get this buffoonery? Yeah. So I'm looking at it and I was like, well, first off, Levitt came in and was talking about this, the White House press secretary. Right. She comes in and says, oh, he was just thinking this was like he's king of the jungle. It was a Lion King reenactment. I said, well, there was no baboon. There was no monkeys in there. It was a baboon, but there was no apes in there. Where did that come from? So I look at it and people tell you who they are. You should believe them.
Most definitely. Exactly. And how many times has he informed us as to who he is? And yet you still have people questioning, is he a racist? Man, give me a break. They need to jump off Trump Tower. Jump off Trump Tower. Excellent comments. Anything, Jamie, Russ?
Yeah. I think one of the things I was really interested in was Tom Scott.
Tim Scott.
Yeah. You notice that he rushed with his goddamn thing? Did you notice that?
Yes.
Well, that's what how this thing is going to resonate with Black voters. That's my thing now. I'm looking at Brian. What's the guy running for governor of Florida?
Byron Donaldson.
Brian Donaldson. How this thing going to resonate with him? You see all this thing, Jim. That's right. And then when I go back and look at it, Trump had 18% of Black votes. How this thing is going to resonate with them people voting for him now? I love it.
It's hurting him.
I love it, man. I love it. I always say this, and I'll say this out loud. The two most dangerous men in America today, Stephen Miller and Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Because he's running it. Stephen Miller is running it. And it goes back to a previous podcast we did. They still think they're still looking at, Trump was the bobblehead, the mouthpiece, but as I say, it's a MAGA government. Like I always say, they're running it. Trump is just the mouthpiece. And Stephen Miller, he's the financier of all of this. And he's going to be the financier of the new regime if they're able to do it with Vance heading it. So, and back to your question about how it's going to affect Black people minorities, period, Black and brown. The man told us in his first term what he was all about, as you guys just said. None of this should be a surprise. No. But now they got the pedal to the floor. They got the gas pedal to the floor. And like you said, all those areas are stacked. He's got the deck stacked. And that's why he's blatant. He could say, I want you dead, I don't like you. He could say whatever he wants, and he does. Because he thinks it's Teflon. But people are going to be pushing back, and I hope with the midterms, we get out in droves. Droves, to flip this thing.
Well, as I stated in last week's podcast, this man is as ridiculous, as pathetic as they come. And he's trying to push people to give him a reason to call out the troops for real and to possibly cancel the elections because he knows with all this crazy stuff he's doing, with all this crazy stuff he's saying, he has no chance of retaining the House.
No.
Now they're talking possibly the Republicans losing possibly the Senate
as well.
Oh my God. If this happens,
dead.
Buckle up.
Yeah.
Buckle up.
That's gonna be a long ride.
Yeah,
The
free ride.
long ride right there.
Oh,
I will say this right here. When you look at the way that he moves, like we were talking before, he says the quiet thing out loud, right? I call him the soulless blunder. That's what I call him. When you actually move like he moves and you don't think about anyone but yourself, and sometimes not even that, sometimes I think, you just say the first thing that comes to your head. They call him Taco because they're always changing his mind. You know, just flip flop. So when we look at this, think about how he wanted to get 5 more seats in Texas. They turned around and they gerrymandered and redrew the districts. They wrote Jasmine Crockett right out of her district. Yeah, she was in somebody else's district. There was another. He wasn't legally in his right district anymore. So then we turn around and they have this thing going on. They messed around and diluted their own vote in the state and lost the seats anyway. So when you think, sometimes you can get so smart, you get stupid again.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, it didn't
Icarus.
take much for them to get stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take much.
Yeah.
But that's a good point. When Trump, I don't want to say ordered because he doesn't have to order that stupid governor of Texas to do anything. Just think it.
Oh,
And he
Governor
wants
Hot
to-
Wheels.
I like that.
Okay.
Yeah, Governor Hot Wheels, all he needs to do is think that this will satisfy Trump,
Right.
that this might make Trump happy, and he jumps to it. Just like the stupid governor we have in Florida. But he doesn't have the relationship with Trump that the governor of Texas has. But the bottom line is they're going to gerrymander Texas and then sue California
Yeah.
For the same thing.
gerrymandering.
Same thing.
Thank God the Supreme Court gave us one. You know,
Yeah.
they gave us one.
But Cali decided to go ahead and do it.
Who?
California decided to go ahead and do it anyway. They're going to redraw the district and they'll lose some more seats in Cali because of it.
No. They are going to get it, yes, but the Supreme Court gave them the right to go ahead and do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, California.
California.
Yeah. But
Preemptively.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
let's look at some of these other things that Trump is doing in terms of distractions.
Here we go.
I'm talking, there's a whole basket of nonsense, a basket full of nonsense that Trump has done. But that whole basket represents the basket of distractions.
Right.
Distractions from the Epstein files.
That's what it's about.
Because things are leaking out little by little how much Trump was involved. How much he was involved. He can say what he wants. I wasn't involved. I didn't do anything. Yeah, right. Just let us have those other almost 3 million files that haven't been released. What you say, Sid?
Well, we know there was 3 million pages of documents that were released, about 180,000 images, and roughly 2,000 videos that we have not seen. Okay. This week, the Congress and the Senate supposed to see the unredacted version of those. They're not going to actually be able to take pictures or record it, but they can take their notes in and take notes from what they see. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens after that. The other thing is, when we look at the Epstein files as a whole, you see world governments are shaking them because people are attached to that.
Right.
Then you think about, look at Miami just had an election where they haven't had a Democratic mayor in over 19 years. They just elected their first again. So this is, one side was always Democratic. Now the other side of Miami is Democratic. That's in his backyard. So when you start seeing the writing on the wall now, we start looking at the Epstein files as they get released. Every time something gets released, what happens? You lose another race.
It's hurting them.
You lose another race, and you see the writing on the wall. This crescendo, this blue wave is going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's going to happen to the point that he is already planning for it. He knows it's coming, and he is planning for it. That's why he sent one of the cabinet members to, where did he send this clown? Georgia. Yeah, to Georgia to get the ballot.
Oh,
Galbert.
Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get the ballot
Yeah.
from the 2020.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any clue of him having won that race, but he's going to keep pushing that narrative to try and suggest that there are problems so that he can try and steal the next race that's coming up.
So on that note, he was talking about taking over the whole voting process for 15 states.
Right.
All those states happen to be Democratic.
Yeah, blue states.
So when you look at that, if he goes in and it's unprecedented that this would even happen, that you can go in and just take the voting things anyway, the machines and all the data. You want to see the rolls so you can strike people from the
That's
roll.
it.
Then you got your national security, the chief of national security, Tulsi Gabbard, that she had no business being there. That she worked for the CIA. Think about it, NSA.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be off of American soil where she works.
Right.
FBI is for home.
Right.
CIA is for abroad. Why you got your CIA person being used on homeland?
Yeah.
Because he feels he can do whatever he wants to do.
Right.
And she looking like an evil character from what's the mutant thing? The X-Men. She looked like she belonged on X-Men or something, hiding behind the corner with her little phone talking and putting him on speakerphone.
Yeah.
But
So-
here's not,
Oh, you fine.
but here's what you got to understand about the Epstein file. There is no sexual limitation on the sex thing. It's fine. There's no sexual limitation.
Right.
If they can prove that 3 years from now, he get called in. You see what I'm saying?
Or even 10 years.
Yeah,
from now.
that's what. So you got to understand when this guy go to bed at night, he thinks about it. He thinks about it. But let me say this too about him. If you look at the Epstein file, you remember that saying, associate and bring on simulation?
Mhm.
That's what it is. I don't have to charge you with having sex. You dealt with these people. You around these people. See, he knows that. He feels that. You see that word pedophile? That's a big word.
Mhm.
I can be a convicted criminal and I'll do all right.
Mhm.
But they put a pedophile thing on me. Oh no. That's
Yeah.
what he's concerned about.
That's why he's putting so much effort into
Hell
making
yeah.
sure, or trying to make sure, that we don't see those
That's
files.
right. That's
Or
right.
there are files that he doesn't want us to see.
It's coming.
And it's coming.
It's coming.
So much so that he brought the Clintons involved in it.
Yeah. Yeah. He wants, hey, usually loves companies.
That's a good
But-
point.
But as they said, and Ray and I was talking about this previously, just in the I think it's 5,900 pages
Yeah.
of the file that they've seen now, they're saying allegedly his name, Trump name alone, has been mentioned over 38,500 times just in those 5,900 pages that they've been looking at. So, see, this is the thing. America is crazy. I mean, they want to protect the pedophiles, but they're raging war on LGBTQ. You see what I mean? I don't get this. I mean, America hates pedophiles less, so to speak, because it's all about protecting them.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Let this stuff be seen. Let it out. And Trump can do whatever misdirection he wants. America wants to see those files. They want to know what's in them.
Yeah.
And yes, it will push him further down. It's gonna further his decline. But they want that. America wants that.
I mean, think about it. He released the JFK files, the MLK files, everything but the Epstein files, right? So,
He's the star of the show. One of the
Yeah,
stars.
right.
but the one thing that we will say is this right here. So we already know about Project 2025. Right?
Oh.
So Project 2025 is a think tank of people from the Heritage Foundation. We already know who those were, right? Big organization. They're imploding right now, by the way, because people are starting to really see their work. During the Reagan administration, it's said that Reagan completed 66% of the things that the Heritage Foundation asked him to do.
Mhm.
So they've been working since the Reagan days and they're still working now. So this project that we're seeing, Stephen Miller and all of them are a part of that. Stephen Miller is one of the architects of some of the policies that are coming out of the White House. No one man can think of all the things that are going on in the Trump administration.
Right.
There's no way. This administration, there's no way.
Right.
I mean, he has to not sleep. He must be tweeting from the toilet seat. I mean, think about it. So when we look at Stephen Miller, who's a deputy,
Mhm.
he's not even the main person. He's a
Right.
deputy. And the reason why he's a deputy, because you have to be confirmed by Congress
Right.
to get into the main seat. But you can be appointed as a deputy. But he has more power than the person that he works for. Think
Yes, he
about it.
does. Yes, he does. Because he has the money. He has the money. And if the MAGA government, as we all said, is comprised of all these rich oligarchs, these billionaires. But back to Project 2025, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was conceptualized like 2005, 2007. It goes way back.
Oh, we're
You know what I
50
mean?
years deep in a 100-year plan.
Yeah, yeah.
50 years deep in a 100-year plan. Think about it.
All right,
Yeah.
let's go back to what I said in terms of it's like a basket full of distraction.
Exactly.
You know, the Epstein files is basically what they're trying to avoid us seeing. And they're doing some of any and everything
Mhm.
to make that happen. The purchase of Greenland. That was a big one. And what did that do? It took a lot of the conversation away from the Epstein file.
Mm.
And let's talk about some other things that he did to take the conversation.
Venezuela.
Okay, Venezuela. The shooting of those boat people.
Yeah, lying.
Lying
Yeah, lying.
to get drugs to the United States.
Stealing 6 oil tankers full. Who's take the people oil?
And the resources over there.
What he say he's going to do with that oil?
Yeah,
He said he's going to control the money from that oil.
yeah.
And make them pay the American people back for the operations that we
Oh.
did.
On
God.
offshore accounts. If America's so great, why are there offshore accounts? He wants to control the money, Mr. Bankruptcy himself.
And another thing about the Venezuelan boat people that were killed, over 100 of them by now.
Mm-hmm.
They know that if the Democrats take possession of the House, and hopefully the Senate too, but if they take possession of the House, Trump and his minions are going to have to answer questions.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to ask, why were you killing these people? How did you know they were smuggling drugs? How did you know who was on that boat or who were the people on that boat? They don't want to go through the
But
question.
Steve Bannon told you what the problem was. He said, if we allow Democrats to actually take over in the midterms, we're all going to jail.
Mm-hmm. He knew that. Yeah.
He said that from his own mouth.
He knows it.
That's why he said they're going to have ICE around all the voting boxes this
That's right.
midterm. They're going to have them out there trying to intimidate people from voting.
Excellent.
Fear.
Excellent.
Fear.
Well, let's look at another one of those.
You know what? Let me say this. Michelle Rain, in Florida Senator,
Mm-hmm.
she said this. I had to write it down. She said, if you voted for this regime, on the outcome, on it, because today is the return of the investment.
Mm-hmm.
Chickens come from the roost. I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah. You're right.
Michelle.
And that's it.
It's
That's a very good point she made.
true.
Chickens coming home to roost.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, again, look at another one of the things that might be in that basket of distractions. You mentioned Venezuela. We've already talked about a couple of other things. What else has he done majorly as a distraction?
ICE. ICE is a major distraction.
Okay, creating a force
Yeah.
called ICE.
Mm-hmm.
That is major. That's what's taking people's minds away from Epstein
And everything.
in part
Right.
because of how atrocious
Mm-hmm.
that group is. Killing people, wearing masks, bursting into people's houses,
Mm-hmm.
et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And thinking that there's no such thing as a constitution.
Right. And
We can do what we want.
And that could be a long-term distraction, which, his group needs. They need a long-term distraction. So they're going to keep ICE at play. But as you and I talked about, I believe it's in California, how the one of the assistant governors, allegedly, they're telling gangs like, hey,
Do what you do.
do what you do. Do what you do.
So these boys
Yeah,
are
you
doing their
come in your
practicing
hood.
that
Yeah.
every day, shooting
Yeah.
at each other. You don't think they can just train their guns on the color
Yeah.
green?
That's That's been my point.
That's
People,
what you said.
that's been my point. But to Ray's point, that is a fear of the U.S. government getting in. But some people, listen, what Trump is doing, you're giving birth to crazy to group that are militarized, that did the federal building, like the Oklahoma people. You're giving birth to this. If you continue this, Americans are going to push back because we're privileged anyway. We think we're the best. We think we're not supposed to deal with stuff. So we're privileged anyway. They feel privileged. They're going to push back, be it through gangs or just private militias. The military can't be everywhere. Yes, they will show up. To your point, they will show up. But America is also will be embarrassed for the other nations to see us implode.
There's two things, though. Insurrection and martial law. Are you really ready for that? Because that's what he's going to use to try to suspend
That's exactly to Ray's point.
to actually stop the midterm elections.
Right.
That is my point.
That was his point.
Totally my point.
But again, how long are Americans willing to take the abuse? And what you guys saying is very, very important. Yeah, insurrection, anything, martial law to stop the elections or whatever, keep them from going to jail and all other stuff. But how long are people going to deal with this? Because you're starting to see it now. You're starting seeing gangs get involved and people pushing for this.
Well, we're seeing some results, Jay,
Yeah.
already
From
from the peaceful marches.
Yes, sir.
The high numbers, peaceful marches. You know, I understand, and I've said it, I understand frustration.
Mm-hmm.
I would be obsessed with seeing some damage done to those people that are killing innocents out there at the marches. But we have already seen some positive results from the marches.
Exactly.
I want to ensure that we have that election.
Me too.
By having the election, then we can get to some real serious accountability issues, holding those assholes accountable. As a matter of fact, the ICE guys wearing masks, where in the heck did they get the feeling that they could wear masks and then abuse people?
Well, they did it as a Klansman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gestapo, clans.
And you're right.
And there's 150,000 members in that who were never declared a terrorist organization to this day.
What I was getting at, the people behind those masks today, talking about being ICE agents, they're nothing more than those clowns that stormed the Capitol.
Proud Boys.
Well, boys.
A gang.
And
Yeah.
they got those
A gang.
swastikas and all this stuff on their neck.
A gang.
We see the markings that you behave like them, you act like them, you talk like them. We already know they're organized and mobilized.
Yeah, Trump decided I'm going to give them $50,000 signing bonus.
Yeah, that make them more crazy. That's quick.
And they reneged on it because they're saying they didn't get the money.
Oh, really? I never.
They're
heard
saying
that.
they're not getting the money. They haven't seen a dime of the bonus money.
Well, that's Trump. That's proverbial Trump.
But the other thing is, we'll wipe out your student debt. That was another one. If you owe any loans to the government, they're gonna take care of that too. Because you know, a lot of them people was waiting to go to jail for them PPP loans.
Right.
They're wiping those out.
Yeah.
But you know, too, let me say,
Extra incentive.
if you look at the people that he's going against, these are your minorities. Okay, I'm real quick. These are your minorities. Trump loved this kind of stuff. And another thing I want you to watch in this thing shaking up, I want you to watch Marco Rubio because Cuba going to have some reaction for this Venezuela shit. You know, I want you to watch. So he is a Cuban. You see, something going to happen to that country where Marco Rubio will be put on the spot.
Okay, we've been told that we're at the end, and I certainly want to thank my co-host for another job well done. Very spirited discussion.
Yes.
We want to thank Shed for being here. We knew he would bring a lot to the conversation. Thanks a lot, Shed.
Appreciate being
I
here.
appreciate it.
Thank you for tuning in to the Ray Tampa podcast, and ask that you continue doing so each and every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. on 99.1 FM, The Bird.
Yes,
And I
sir.
want to remind you that Shed has a podcast also. They do it twice a month. And tell the people what's your podcast name.
Podcast is the Progressive Purple Movement, where we have red and blue ideas. Red and blue makes purple, okay?
All right, we got that. So having said all of that,
I like that.
you're reminded, call the Supervisor of Elections office and request your mail-in ballot. So important. And with all that being said, good evening.